Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Good morning, Fin fans. This is Top of the Tailgate. I'm your host, Ali the Persian. And here at the TFTG, we'd like to thank you for joining us this fine morning. It's currently 6:02 a.m. And you know what? It's Friday. Let's sit back and relax a little bit. Check out some of the other content while we're here. We got El Capitan and a TFTG show. We got Color and myself doing morning shows, usually Monday through Friday. Sorry about yesterday. Sometimes we, doing all this content all over the whole week. It gets kind of tiresome a little bit, but that's okay. We also got Lewis and Shake Money with the Drive Time / Smoke Lounge show, so check out their stuff as well. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, turn on notifications, join the chat. If you're on the Facebook side or the Twitch side or whatever side, come over to YouTube, join the chat, get in on the conversation as well. If you feel the need to, you don't have to, we don't pressure people or peddle people, but if you feel the need to or want to and you want to help out the channel, we accept donations. We use Cash App or Venmo or super chats or super stickers. Again, you don't have to, but we really appreciate it. In addition to that, while you're hanging out, check out some of the other links in the description below. Some of our affiliates, such as
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
That's right. Officially licensed everything. Fanatics, right? Fanatics, you can get your draft hats, all the different hats and custom jerseys I wear, in addition to a huge employer of many different memorabilia and flair that you can wear to the games, even signed stuff, bro, that has Beckett slips and all you can get at Fanatics. They always got deals going on. Even their clearance section has really cool stuff and really good deals, so definitely check it out. Use the link below. So if you use the link below, there's no difference in going to the website, except it helps out the channel. It kind of like drops our name at Fanatics that we sent you, and it helps us out. So definitely use Fanatics link below in the description. We would appreciate that. In addition, while you're hanging out there, check out Backroom Collection. Backroom Collection has a variety of different canvas artwork that you can actually hang anywhere, literally anywhere from your garage, man cave, sportsman room, bedroom, bathroom, place of business, your office, your restaurant, cafe. It does not matter. Even at a hospital, you can hang this stuff. And it's for all your favorite Miami Dolphin players to different sports. They do custom work. You can get custom design frames, the whole 10 yards, right? They also have really cool accessories like these special visors you can get for those little mini helmets that everybody gets signed all the time. So definitely check out Backroom Collection. In addition to that, if you're just waking up and you need some energy going, check out Doobie Energy Drink. Doobie Energy Drink, it sells a variety of different energy supplements. Their energy supplements that they have, they claim don't provide crashing or jittering that you get with a lot of other companies that are out there. In addition to that, they say they provide a lot more beneficial vitamins and minerals that affect the brain in a positive manner and are not as harmful for you. They have more of a natural caffeine, as they say, and they don't include a lot of those artificial sugars and byproduct stuff that's harmful for the body. So definitely check out Doobie Energy Drink. Check out Shake Money's videos. He's going to start doing reviews on the regular, on the different flavors they have. So definitely check it out. He likes it so far. He says it's good. So check out Doobie Energy Drink. The link is below. And as you saw earlier on, check out TFTGnetwork.com. That's right, TFTGnetwork.com. It's your one-stop shop for Finn's Tailgate everything, right? Everything from our merch, of course, which is already there. But you can also see articles that I've written or other people around here has written. It's your one-stop shop to see all of our social media feeds, everything from Twitter to our YouTube playlist of the shows specifically for each individual host. Check that out. We even have up-to-date news, Miami Dolphins news coming in there as well. There's a lot that is on there, so definitely check out TFTGnetwork.com. In addition to that, if you sign up for the newsletter, not only do we notify you of new content that's coming or new information that's coming, right? It also saves you 10% off your first purchase in the merch store. So just to let you guys know. But yeah, so shout out to everybody that's in the chat, specifically our members. I see a couple of members in the house. If you'd like to become a member, that's the easiest way to help out the channel. It's very, very, very inexpensive per month. And we have 3 different levels. We have Amigos, Familia, and MVP, right? And you get these cool different really cool different emojis. In addition to that, you get notified a little bit quicker regarding some of the upcoming shows. You're going to get some special content with that included. So definitely check that out. Speaking of emojis, there's a new one. If you're a member, go ahead and check out the new emoji. I think you're going to like it. The Bills fans, not so much, but you may like it. So shout out to all of our members up in here. Let's see who we got in the chat with us. We have our resident Bill fan, Michael K, is up in the house. We got Trucker Sean. How you doing, Trucker Sean? Nice to see you. In addition, we got Shake Money in the house. Shaking and blending, shake and bake money. That's right, Shake Money. Check out his shows. He's going like every other day. He also does In the Blender on Larry K's channel. He's covering Saturday nights for me until the preseason starts. Then we're gonna collab. It's gonna be awesome, bro. This season is gonna be rocking and rolling. I'm already hyped. I'm not even on coffee yet. Can you believe that? That's reality here. Let's keep it going. What else do we got in here? See, Hopeful, I seen you in the spaces yesterday, so shout out to you. I see you in there, so good morning. Yeah, and if you see Shake Money just posted the new emoji, check that out. That's our new one for now. Yeah, so that's brought to you by yours truly. Thank you, Adu. I really appreciate the thanks for putting out that emoji. As you all know, I'm just here for the Buffalo Smoke, as people say. So, yeah. Shout out to the person that said that, by the way. I thought it was funny. Scotty, what's up, Scotty? How you doing? BMCD, how you doing? How's everybody doing? Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Jimmy Satterfield, please, I said that correctly. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good day. This is top of the tailgate here at TFTG. Hit like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Now, I have my co-host in the back. I'm going to be bringing him up shortly. But I kind of wanted to talk about a few things before we get into today's show. If you have been paying attention for this past, I want to say, couple of weeks, there has been a new shift to TFTG. There's a couple things. You may have noticed that we recently announced a new host here on TFTG. Shout out to Kari P. So if you didn't know, go back and watch Colors breakdown of the most productive passers in the NFL, current NFL. Make sure you check out his show. Kari P co-hosted. Kari P is the newest team member of TFTG. You're gonna see him more on the regular. Make sure you give him as much love as you guys give me, Color, or anybody else. Yeah, so shout out to Kari P. If you're watching, thank you, man. I appreciate it. So let's get back to what I was referring to. So there has been a change of wind, if you want to call it that. There has been a shift of what we think or philosophy that we want to embrace. And ultimately, we think that we are stronger together, right? We want to collab with everybody, different minds, different thought process. Because one, let's be real. Everybody here at TFTG, everybody on any platform, anybody in the media, or even if you're a player on the field, we are a student of the game. We learn different things every day, right? We embrace change and we have to adapt, right? And in spirit of that, the best way to embrace change and adapt is to do it together. And basically, it comes down to unity. It's time to bury the hatchet, as they have said. You may have heard it. Let it be on the Twitter Spaces or here on YouTube. I know Lewis and a lot of the other people from both worlds have been collabing here on the TFTG network and other channels as well. It's time to bury the hatchet. Let's move forward. Let's come together in the sole purpose as a fan base to actually embrace not only our team, but stand up against the outside forces that try to bring a lot of negative limelight. I'm not throwing Buffalo Bills fans under the bus. I'm not. But there are people that may represent some of those bad apples in every fan base. Let it be the Buffalo Bills or the Jets fans or New England Patriot fans or just in the NFL in general that want to put out different information that's negative all over the place. And what does that do for everybody? It doesn't help everybody. No, it doesn't. Put out facts, bro. Do your research, put out facts, and actually put out information that is truthful. And don't automatically make accusations, because when you make accusations, really what you're doing is assuming. And when you assume, we all know what that does. And it's not good for you. It's not good for fan bases. It's not good for anybody. So let's come together in the spirit of we have 4th of July coming up, and that's a really big holiday, right? And I'm a veteran. I may have said this to you guys before. I'm a veteran, and I served in the International Guard and everything. And I was willing, right out of high school, I was willing to put my, life at risk, for our country, and, I was like 4 days after graduation, went straight to boot camp. Yeah, I didn't even get to enjoy my summer. I freaking just went straight to boot camp and, straight right into tech school and everything. And I've been a few places, I've been to quite a few different places around the world and everything. And at this age that I am now with my daughters and my son and everything, and I'm proud of myself and what the decision I made, because ultimately that's what the International Guard kind of is. It's a union of men, diverse different men and women that came together to stand up to something. In this case, it was stand up against people that threaten freedom of people here in the United States and other places. You know what I mean? And what I'm asking is, as a fan base, we need to stop the divide and come together, embrace unity, as well as use it as a learning tool. It doesn't matter if I have different thoughts than Color. I mean, to be honest, let's be real. Color, El Cap, Shake Money, myself, even Kari P, right? And Lewis. all of us have a different idea of how to get to what we want. And we all want Super Bowls, we all want championships, we all want success. We have a different way to get there, right? I think it should be one way. Color is going to come up here and say, no, Ollie, you're wrong. It has to be this way. You know what I mean? Color constantly challenges me as a student of the game, and I challenge him. I bring points, he brings points. There's nothing wrong with that. No need to go crazy and get personal. Let's just put bygones, and let's come together. I challenge everybody that's watching right now to go out of your way and actually come together. Bury the hatchet with somebody that you may not agree with, even outside of the fan base. I'm going to do that. I'm going to call up somebody that I have real world beef with, to be honest, and I'm going to try to bury the hatchet. I'm going to put the first step forward, right? Because together, not just as a fan base, as a community, I think we're stronger, bro. I really do. I really think we're stronger. I think we can provide more information and we can become more educated. You know, people throw around here, oh, you know, all you fans are not educated and don't know what or whatever. Yeah, but if you're not willing to unify and explain why, or you know, try to share that information or knowledge, how are we supposed to grow as a community? You know what I mean? Even this, I want this platform to grow. Can I get it? How can I get it to grow if I can't, you know, come together and embrace, you know, diversity in everything? Just think about that for a little bit. All right. I challenge you as a fan base, as a Bills fans, or whoever you are just watching right now, go find somebody that you have real world beef with and try to bury the hatchet. Try to sit down and come to an agreement and actually just come to a clean slate. Give each other amnesty and move forward. That's what I want to see people do. I don't want to see people bickering and yelling and screaming because we don't get anywhere. We don't learn anything. But anyway, just a little monologue for today. I'm going to bring up my co-host now. Color, what's up, Color? You awake now? Did that wake you up? Oh, man, Color's speechless. Color. All right. I guess Color is, you know, Color, do you hear us? Color, I think your mic is kind of screwed up a little bit. Either that or I put you to sleep. All right, joke's on me, I guess. Ha, I'll put you in the back. All right, so let's keep it moving. So it is 6:16 a.m. It is currently 81 degrees in Miami. Today's high is 88, low of 78. It currently feels like 88 degrees, and it's 81% humidity. That is correct. That is the reality of it. It is going to be a hot day. Current traffic report, and this was as of now. It was earlier. It was all green, you know, across the board. There has been about 3 accidents reported already going into the weekend. Please be safe, right? I know the holidays on Tuesday, and a lot of people have Monday off as well. Use this weekend to be safe. Enjoy the family. Spend it with your family, you know, but be safe. Buckle up. Don't you know, please don't try to drink and drive or anything like that. You know, use, you know, different transportation. Let it be public transportation, Lyft, Uber, you know, call a friend, have a DD, have a designated driver. You know, I know it sounds kind of weird. We had that in college or whatever, but you know, definitely try to be safe. It's not worth it to you or anyone else, but have a good time at the same time. Definitely. So that is my traffic report for right now. There's about 3 accidents. There's an accident on the corner of Northwest 57th Avenue in the 1700 block. There's also one on Northwest 27th Avenue in the 1400 block area, just so you know. And there's also an accident reported on Southwest 137th Avenue and Southwest 200th Street. So be safe, please. You know, and in spirit of Color, because I know his mic might not be working right now. In spirit of Color, if you're going one way, turn around and go the other. That's what he would say. Let me see if his mic is working. Color, is your mic working now?
It is. I'm just fixing up some other difficulties at the moment. I should be joining here in a few minutes.
All right. Well, I'm going to leave you up, but just feel free to unmute yourself whenever you're ready. Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. All right.
Are you muted, Ali? Or is that just me?
Oh, somehow it muted me. I apologize. My bad. Color, what I was trying to say is that I know you're having difficulties, and that's perfectly fine because I'm really not drinking coffee today, to be honest. In spirit of unity in my however long monologue that I just ranted on, and blobbled. Uh, something that you may not know or may already know. I'm Persian. I'm half Persian, right? And Persians when they come together, let it be going to a family member's house, a friend's house, or they're gonna sit down and maybe have peace talks or whatever it may be, it starts off with a cup of Persian tea. And this morning, in light of that, I figured I'd have tea in the name of unity. So no coffee for me today. Color, I know you're probably gonna be drinking coffee. What do you got for us? Any new coffee you're trying?
Nope, going standard Joe today, McCafe.
All right, so Color swears up and down on McCafe, the standard Joe, and
Sorry, Ali. I said nope. I'm going standard McCafe going today. Just standard Joe.
I know. I heard you. Let me know if you can hear me, Color.
Sorry, I had a phone call. I'll be right back.
It's okay. No worries. So Color's going standard Joe, McCafe. And the McCafe coffee, he swears upon it, and he says that it's one of the most refreshing taste coffees that he thinks. It's surprising. McDonald's has the most refreshing coffee according to him. I may disagree, but then again, it might be true. Their Keurig cup or coffee beans may be better. I'm not sure if it's the same as what they use at their in their restaurants, but it is very surprising, and I'll take his word for it because I'll at least try it. And if I don't like it, I know I can take my coffee beans or my Keurig cup to Colors, and he can use the rest of it. But I implore you to try a new cup of coffee. Try it. I recommend Seattle's Best. That's what I've been drinking primarily this week. Seattle's Best Coffee was founded in the 70s. And I'm sorry, I can't even talk right this moment. It was founded in the 70s. They used to be known as the Stewart Brothers. They brewed a surprisingly smooth coffee with just a 12-pound peanut roaster of all things. Later on, they kind of grew a little bit. They moved their facility to a little island called Vashon Island, where they continued to roast and blend delicious coffee for stores across Seattle. Later on, after that, they participated in a competition for the best cup of coffee in Seattle. And they won that competition, so they decided to change their name to Seattle's Best Coffee. Now, I recommend Seattle's Best Coffee. I think it's the most smooth, bold flavor. It has the perfect aroma when it's brewed. It's really great. They have a variety of different flavors, some interesting one. There's a story behind there's a like a stray cat that used to come around, from what I understand, who's they named Henry, and it used to curl up next to the peanut roaster. And they have a blend that they made called Henry and his signature blend. So that's something special. I haven't tried that one yet. It's more of a darker blend from what I understand. So definitely check them out. They use 100% coffee beans from Arabica trees, resulting in a smooth tasting cup of coffee every time they brew. That means you get incredible taste every time you throw a pot or a K-cup pod, just so you're aware. They have a variety of different blends. Like I said, you should try it. They very high quality standards with their roasting and everything that they do to provide a fantastic taste. So check out Seattle's Best. You can go to seattlesbest.com. You can buy their coffee at Walmart, Publix, Amazon, or directly from their website. But check them out. So that's who my coffee of the week is. If you're asking about my tea, I don't drink Lipton tea, if that's what you're asking. No, I drink a Persian tea. That this has a cardamom flavor with it. And Where can you get Persian tea? Well, that's a good question. You can order it from Amazon. There's various different brands and stuff. I might link it in the description later on what I actually use, but this is a cardamom flavor that's really good. It's Persian tea is very similar to English tea, but it also has Southeast Asia like chai in it at the same time. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like a combination of both best worlds, both worlds. So just to give you an example, I usually either put honey or some type of agave um, or maybe sugar sometimes. It just depends on what I have and whatnot. I prefer honey though. I think honey gives the perfect balance to it. And sometimes I drink it like how they do in England, and I add a little bit of milk. It just depends on my mood. So Persians primarily use a sugar cube or sugar mostly. If you're a little bit older and you're trying to stay healthier, I'd use honey. That's what I would use. All right. There is news to talk about. People are already asking me dolphin takes colors, so we're gonna get into that. Let's actually pull up some information here that I wanted to talk about. People are asking what my thought process is on the gambling issues that are going around and the suspensions. Recently the NFL announced a handful of suspensions, some 1 year or some for at least 6 games. The NFL suspended Indianapolis Colts player Isaiah Rodgers and Rashad Berry and free agent Demetrius Taylor indefinitely through at least the 2023 season for betting on NFL games during the 2022 campaign, the league announced Thursday. Following the announcement, the Colts announced Thursday that they have waived both Rodgers and Berry, so they just lost their jobs. They have made the following roster moves as a consequence of the determination that these players violated the league's gambling policy. Colts general manager Chris Ballard said in a statement, "The integrity of the game is utmost importance. As an organization, we will continue to educate our players, coaches, and staff on the policies in place and the significant consequences that may occur with violations." Tennessee Titans offensive lineman Nicholas Pettit Ferrier, I'm sorry if I can't pronounce that correctly, was also suspended 6 games for betting on non-NFL games at his team's facility. The NFL recently launched an investigation into sports gambling across the league. Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated reported earlier this month that the probe could impact a healthy number of guys from across the league. So, what are my thoughts on this? Well, first of all, there's a couple things I need to get straight. All right. The CBA and the NFL come together. I'm sorry, the Players Association and the NFL come together to create a CBA agreement on a lot of different aspects, including suspensions and stuff like that. Now, I know this is starting to become an issue. We saw Calvin Ridley get a 1-year suspension over a $1,500 bet, right? Isaiah Rodgers, from what I understood, he bet $1,000, right? $1,000, but on his own team, right? And he just got cut. So obviously, one person got cut that was made to use as an example, but it's not stopping players from betting. Recently, you saw a handful of Lions players, specifically William Jamison, I think his name is, wide receiver. He got recently suspended for gambling, And it wasn't the fact that he gambled on his own team or even in his own sport, but he gambled on Detroit Lions facility in a Detroit Lions facility. And because of that, right? Because of that, that's why he was suspended 6 games. Now, do I think players should have the ability to bet? Yeah, I think they should have the ability to bet when they want to. Not on NFL though. I think they should be able to bet on any other sport that they want. Let it be basketball, hockey, Major League Baseball, or even soccer. We'll just say, but I don't think they should have the right to bet on NFL. And the reason I think for that is because the NFL, you're in that industry. You have a lot of communication with a lot of different players, even outside of your team. You know the team stuff that's going on. You have insider information. It's unfair. It takes away from the integrity of the game, right? So I'll start there. My biggest beef is for people that try to bet in their own industry. It's kind of like the saying, and I apologize for saying this too early in the morning. It's like you're shitting in your own bed. You know, that's kind of how I see it. Color, are you there? What do you think on this? You got any comments on this? You're muted, Color. Color might be having some technical difficulties still. That's fine. But no, basically, that's what I think. I think they're shitting in their own bed, and you don't do that. You know what I mean? And I don't see how it would take away from the integrity of the game if you're betting on outside sports, outside of the NFL, right? Soccer, basketball, baseball, hockey. You know, I don't see what the issue is with that. And that goes for those players of that sport as well. I don't think they should be able to, bet on their own sport as well. So that's how I see it across the board for everybody. Betting on in your own facility. Yes, if you're part of in your facility, really you shouldn't. If they have a policy against gambling, just follow the rules, man. It's that easy. Wait till you're at your own house and place the bet. You know what I mean? Wait till then. You know, that's what I think is so dumb. You saw what happened to Calvin Ridley. You can't tell me that your team and the NFL did not come through and tell you the rules, bro. These are the rules. You have to follow it. You know, I know people want to place bets. I know it's been legalized and there's, certain limitations to it still, but I know it's a lot more accepted now. Just follow the damn rules. You just wasted a whole year of your career over $1,000 bet, bro. You lost money because now you've been waived over $1,000. Was it worth it to you in the end? Was it? No, I don't think it was. So, yeah, that is correct. He only made, I know that was the maximum bet that he placed, but was it really worth it? I don't know. I don't think it was worth it in the end. Even for Calvin Ridley, you know what I mean? He made a $1,500 bet, and because of that, it was games that he didn't even play in, you know what I mean? And he just lost a whole season, And when you get suspended, I'm assuming, and I don't know. I think there is like deductions out of your pay if you're suspended. You're not getting the bonus, I'm assuming, because you're not playing in the games. If there is that, that type of language in your contract, but I don't know. What's up, Chef Jew? I see you in here, man. Shout out to you, bro. Definitely. What else I got in here? Flava J, I see you. What's up, man? Just want to make sure I said hi to everybody that is in the chat. Scotty, I already mentioned you. Yeah. So if you're just joining, make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're going to keep this conversation going. Colin, are you there? Or are you still on the phone? You're muted. We can't hear you, though.
Nope, I'm still here.
All right. So what's your take on this gambling? I know you and I have talked about, if they're going to let, gambling be a thing, they need to, make it accepted for people that were previously, excommunicado due to gambling. But I think the issue is that I don't think you should be able to gamble on your own sport. I think you can only gamble on other sports outside of your industry. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's hard because that athletes across, different sports do, have ability to talk to each other and kind of, I think you still run into the same integrity issue with inside information because, $1 million athlete in one sport is going to be able to get into, probably some info that not everybody else can get into from other $1 million athlete in sets and other sport. You know what I mean? Still a little tricky there, but I can see what, somewhat of a compromise with that. But I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I definitely I get what you're saying. I'm looking at it in the sense of like, how these people on Wall Street, when they get sneak information when nobody else knows, they tend to try to pull fast moves to sell or buy and whatnot, and it's basically known as insider trading. These guys are going to be privy to information that the public doesn't know yet, or they have it first. You know what I'm saying? Firsthand, let it be a player going down or whatever, or they know what plays or how they're going to be attacking a certain team. I think it would be considered insider trading at that point. That's why I don't think that they should be able to make bets in their own industry. Now, I do understand that the NFL doesn't want anybody betting in any of their facilities or any of the team facilities. I get that. Just wait a little bit till you leave the facility and then make your bet. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see what the problem is with that. Does that understand?
I mean, to me, it doesn't. I don't understand the whole location thing. Like, anyway, I mean, what information are they gonna have inside the building that makes it any different than across the street?
Yeah, I kind of understand that.
It's one of those. It looks like it's got more integrity, so we'll do that. You know what I mean? When it really doesn't matter one way or another to people's perception.
Yeah, for me, I really don't care if it's on facility or not. It's more of like, they have these rules. Why can't we just follow them? You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, it is what it is. Rules are rules at this point. You could disagree with them, but like you said a minute ago, it's a cost analysis. I mean, what'd you lose in playing in the season for whatever you might have gained for your bet?
Yeah, I mean, you could have just gained maybe less than what a week's worth pay would be. You know what I mean? And then you lose your whole season. Then what? You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe there's a way to have a separate place for them to bet. I don't know, where it's all equal because they're all working with inside information, like a different betting league or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. Trying to think of a solution.
100%. I'm right there with you, Color. I agree 100%.
Like if you have to be like kind of like the blue check on Twitter. You get this blue check so everybody knows you're a millionaire athlete with possible inside information. And if you're all working with possible inside information, then it's fair. Let them all bet with each other.
Yeah, I mean, recently, Patriots.
I guess look, if one guy's shaving points and then the other guy on the other team is shaving points, then it kind of works out,
Yeah, I mean, this guy has a good point too. So Jonathan Jones, he's a Patriot cornerback. He actually rips the policy in an interview. He basically says, "I understand rules are rules." He tweeted on Thursday, not in an interview, but he tweeted this, I guess. But I can risk my life so that my team wins, but I can't risk $1,000 on my team winning. That's a good point, Color. It's kind of like what we used to say, when I turned 18, I can risk my life for this country, but I can't buy a drink. You know what I mean? It's almost like the same thing in a weird way. So one person responded that it's an issue of integrity, and players betting on their own team could throw games to make more money. Yeah, that is true. That is true. That's the defining factor. You know, I mean, it's going to be a big, it might be a big topic in the next CBA, since there's been a lot more suspensions handed over this. You know, the NFL has a huge partnership with Vegas and certain gambling companies, and they're trying to hold the integrity of the game tight, and hold them responsible, because you know those partnerships and sponsorships could get pulled really quickly, and there's a lot of money to be lost. That's for sure. Kane's Dolphins, how's it going, man? Everybody, if you're just joining the chat, make sure you hit like and subscribe. If you're on the Facebook side or Twitch side or Twitter side, come over to YouTube, join the chat. Please do. Oh, man. So, Color, how's it going, man? How's everything?
Pretty good. I'll be getting out on the road here in a second. I'm gonna probably lose my connection for a second, and then it'll pop back in. But just letting you know.
No worries, no worries. Let me know when you're on the road. We'll fire up the chopper for you. You can give us a traffic report.
Right on.
So definitely, let's see what else is going on in the NFL today. I just want to see if there was any. You guys may have known former Miami Dolphins Devontae Parker was set his entire to enter his last year as a Patriot and wanted to extend his contract to help bring a championship back to New England, according to Ian Rappaport. He recently agreed to a new 3-year deal worth up to $33 million. Very interesting. I thought they were really high on D-Hop. Color, what happened?
I know, right?
Yeah, they were really high on D-Hop. Yeah, they also, I believe there was a linebacker, I believe they also re-signed as well and extended. So I don't, with the amount of money that they had in cap space, I don't really see them getting D-Hop now. Because I want to say they only had like 14.5 million, somewhere around there. And this deal that they just signed comes with $14 million in guarantees. So, very interesting. Just want to see what else we got going on the outside of Dolphin world. Let's see. I just want to see if there was any last minute news that populated here. I don't see anything new. I do have Dolphins news to talk about, which we will get into. I just wanted to make sure I hit that information first. So people are asking, well, everyone's been talking about it, you know, and we try here at the Fins Tailgate. I've tried not to talk about it because we don't have the facts. We don't have the video or any information. We're going off of what's being reported. And unfortunately, what's being reported, it differs depend on what side of the internet you're on or what channel or what media person. They're all giving different reports, and it's getting convoluted. What we do know about the Tyreek Hill ongoing situation is that there was a confrontation and someone getting slapped on the back of the head. Supposedly this person's about 57 years old, so that's pretty much all we know. What was said, who did what, why, we don't really know exactly. We know that he supposedly got on the wrong boat for some reason, and they were ordered off, and not sure what was said or what the process of ordering people off the boat was. It was a mistake. But the newest update, according to Alan Papar, this was posted about 13 hours ago. The NFL reportedly has requested the video footage of the incident Miami Dolphins receiver Tyreek Hill was part of, where he allegedly assaulted an employee of the marina, and is seeking interviews with every officer and detective involved, supposedly. With both were expected as part of the ongoing NFL investigation, which could lead to Hill being fined or suspension for violating the league's personnel conduct policies. South Florida radio host Andy Slater was the first to report that formal request has been made. Slater, who has ties to South Florida law enforcement, who also first to report that no arrests would be made at the local level and that the incident would be elevated to the state attorney's office to determine if alleged altercation is anything more than a civil matter. Well, the NFL, has the right to do their own investigation, and they want to talk to the detectives, see what information they have. There has been no reporting or I'd say evidence of the video being leaked out yet for people to see. Miami Herald in another report reported that the video, according to their sources, doesn't really show anything. It's very hard to tell what actually happened, you know. So if that's the case, then it's pretty much going to come down to what the different, people that they interviewed or, took statements from. And, that's what they're going to base their opinion off of. Now, do I expect anything to come out of this right away? No. Look at it this way. Devontae Adams has pushed down a cameraman live on TV. Everyone saw the video and everything. Him doing it, right? And the charges were dropped, and he's going into a civil case, with the person. And the NFL has yet to do anything or make any judgment on him. The only judgment that's made is that there'll be no criminal charges, and he's not going to be arrested or have to do anything in regards to that. But NFL still hasn't made judgment yet on Devontae Adams. If they make judgment, I think Devontae Adams would be first, and then the Tyreek Hill, based on the order of things. But if they don't do anything to Devontae Adams and they do something to Tyreek Hill, then we have a leg to stand on to prove that the whole process is unfair. But that's a different story. We won't even get into that. I'm still not judging Tyreek Hill until I see the video and we have all the facts and statements from everybody, right? Then I'll make judgment if I have any. I still don't, they're still so tight-lipped on everything. There's really nothing to say. Color, are you still there?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about this? I mean, the video that they supposedly is very grainy. They don't really see what happened. They can't really tell what transpired.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, and if it had something juicy, TMZ would have their hand on it already, bro.
Yeah, and the arrest warrant and the charges would already be filed.
Yeah, they would have been already filed. There's rumors going around that supposedly $200 was offered by Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? I don't know how true that is or whatever. I'm not saying that people are wrong. I just, until we get the actual reports from both, the state attorney's office and they lay the facts down, then I can make judgment on it. But right now, I still don't want to create a negative opinion about anything. I don't even want to waste calories thinking about it. You know what I mean? What do you think?
I completely agree with you, man. It's been hard the past, week, listening to all the back and forth, all the people accusing each other of not having the facts and who knows who and what, and it's all really stupid if you ask me.
Yeah, the whole thing is dumb, bro. I mean, why go around, wasting calories over something that we don't know what happened? There's no video or facts. Everyone's jumping ship, and the boat even hasn't even sunk or even begin to sinking because they haven't hit anything yet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You've got people, not only are they deciding, okay, well, if this and that happened, then this and that, and it's like, look, if a guy goes and robs a bank, then yeah, that's a bad thing. But why am I going to go talk about what the consequences?
That is a bad. But
yeah, why am I going to talk about what the consequences of robbing a bank are if there's no evidence a person's robbed a bank?
That's a really good point. If there's no evidence that this actually happened, that I can see, why even worry about it?
On top of that, why am I going to talk about what provoked a person to rob a bank? There's no proof he robbed a bank. It's like saying, well, if you were to have robbed a bank, Ali, then, man, what were the reasons that you came to rob a bank? I mean, why even talk about that kind of nonsense?
Yeah. And just because the NFL requested to see video and wants to talk to certain people That doesn't mean anything. It just means they're doing their due diligence to make sure they don't miss anything. They may even just say, okay, it's a civil matter, just deal with it. You know what I mean? They may not do anything. You know, even if they did something, I don't foresee this to be like too crazy. You know what I mean? I mean, worst case scenario, you know what? I'm not even going to entertain it. I'm not even going to give you the worst case scenario yet. I'm going to wait till we see what's what, and then I'll waste my calories on it, Color. How about that?
Right, exactly. You know, but by the way, just so you know, if it rains today, it's going to be pretty wet later on.
Obviously. Oh, Color, I love you, bro. I love you. Are you on the road now, Color?
I am, but I'm probably going to lose connection here in just a second and then regain it, but we'll see if we get lucky.
All right. When you lose connection, come back. Do you mind doing the traffic report?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, now 420.
Definitely. Good morning. All right. Let's keep it moving here. Color's going to do his traffic report shortly. I want to see what else is going on. Oh. I almost forgot, Color. We didn't do cause for cleats. We didn't do cause for cleats. So I'm going to do cause
what was
for...
the cause for not doing cause for cleats?
I got caught up in my monologue of unity. So now in light of unity, in that spirit, my cause for cleats is not brought to you by a Miami Dolphins player specifically. I believe someone in the NFL has this cause, but in light of unity, the cause for cleats for today is the United Way. United Way uses its global outreach and local presence to build stronger, more resilient, and more equitable communities where everyone can thrive. We work to improve the health, education, and economic mobility of every person in every community they serve. 73% of youth served by United Way gain jobs, further education, or credentials. 2.3 million youth got academic enrichment outside school because of United Way. 81% of children and adults served by United Way ate healthier or increased physical activity. They make life better for more than 48 million people a year. Through United Way, communities tackle tough challenges and work with private, public, and nonprofit partners to boost education, economic solutions, and health resources. We help people make meaningful change through charitable donations, volunteerism, or public policy advocacy. 1.5 million people volunteered through United Way. 6.8 million people invest their communities through United Way, and 45,000 companies partner with United Way to make change. So if you'd like to know more about United Way, go to unitedway.org. They have a variety of different information on how you can donate. It talks about their partners, their programs, their impact, how you can volunteer, all that kind of stuff. So check out unitedway.org. All right, Color. So that was in spirit of unity. What did you think?
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Any further thoughts about United Way? Have you had experiences with them or anything?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I have used to donate on the regular through my company, and we'd volunteer, been to a variety of different events that they had. We had food drives, everything from that to marathons, all different stuff that they, different programs and different events that they held. So I've been around the charity for quite a bit. All right, let's keep it moving. Are you on the road now, Color?
I am.
All right, so this is gonna be Color's traffic report.
Currently up in the Palm Beach County, roads are clear. Not really many slowdowns approaching the intersection. School is out right now, so we don't have a lot of traffic involving the school zones. Currently on Forest Hill Boulevard heading east, and it is clear. You get your normal buildups on Congress Avenue heading south. And of course, in the 305 down in Miami-Dade, whichever way you're heading, head the other way. This has been your TFTG.com, network.com traffic report. All good. Wear your seatbelt.
All right. Thank you, Color, with the traffic report. Shout out to Color. Everyone, make sure you hit like and subscribe if you're just joining us. So this is Top of the Tailgate. We just got done talking about a variety of different subjects, everything from gambling to the Tyreek Hill situation, where we're at with that. Again, we're not creating any negative opinion. He allegedly did something. The video from sources say that the video doesn't really show anything. They can't really tell. In addition to that, the NFL has asked to see the video to see what's what. That's a common practice. The video was already out there for the Devontae Adams situation, so they didn't even have to ask for it. It was all over the place because that happened on live TV. So anyway, let's keep it moving here, Color. Let's get into some of the other information that we got to talk about today. Let me go where I need to here. So we got done talking about Tyreek Hill. We talked about the gambling situation. People are asking about Dalvin Cook, which I'm kind of tired about talking about, to be honest. But if you want a Dalvin Cook take, here it is. He'll either sign with us or he won't. That's where we're at. So until he signs with us or signs with the team, that will be my update or go-to update until then. So yeah, sorry, that's where I'm at with it. The subject has kind of burnt my burned out at this point.
Bro, you should have just heard my mom laughing when you said that. It would have been, if my mic would have been on, it would have been like somebody laughing in the studio. You know what I mean? Like, it was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's funny too. I heard her a little bit laughing. You didn't cut out as much as you thought you did, so we definitely heard. That's funny. Trying to see. There was something that I wanted to talk about before we get into the best games of the 2000s. Yes.
How about that Florida sunrise? How about talking about that Florida sunrise, man?
How's the look, Color? I'm at home. I can't see it where I'm at. Tell me, what does it look like?
Screen.
Sun's already up.
We'll look on my screen.
It's the Sunshine State. If you're not here viewing this, you need to come down to Florida. Let me tell you. Look at that. I like your mask color. I got the same one. Yeah.
Yeah, especially like the fact that it's hanging up and not.
I understand that. Let's keep it moving. Here we go. So this shout out to James McKinney. He put out a small thing about your Miami Dolphins surprise training camp cuts. Every offseason, the Miami Dolphins add a number of new players to the roster. Among the free agent signings, draft picks, and even undrafted free agents, there is a player that will unseat either a starter or a backup on the team. Sometimes another player comes in and just flat beats out the guys in front of them. There are also guys that are maybe not quite as good as the guy in front of them, who still wind up taking a job from the guy that would otherwise be in front of them on the depth chart. Some of these demotions also lead to the same player being cut from the roster altogether. The reasoning can be anything from the younger player having, in the minds of the front office coaching staff, a higher ceiling, to the fact that the veterans in just more of a cap hit and the team can always use the savings. With that in mind, who do you think will be cut or cuts at the end of training camp that will either surprise or even shock the fan base, Color? Do you have anybody that you think it would be?
Eric Izukanma.
That would definitely shock the fan base. And I think there's lividity to that. The fact that you haven't seen him all season long, he could have dressed. I think he may have dressed one game, Color. One game, right? Week after week, is he on non-active? Week after week. Why? The only injury he picked up was when he got pink eye. I mean, I'm not gonna say pink eye, but he had some type of eye injury, which I assume is pink eye. That's the only thing that he had. I mean, what the heck? Why couldn't he get on the field? He was on the field obviously during the preseason. He looked decent.
Oh, because we're playing 5D chess, man, don't you know? And we're not ready to unleash him on the world yet.
This is true. That maybe that's what it is.
I don't. You know what? Every time I've thought that about a player, it just never was the truth. It always was, no, that guy just stinks, and they don't want him on the field.
Yeah, that might be what it is. I don't know, bro. You even had, what was his name? And correct me if I'm wrong on the name. Braylon Sanders, I think his name was. The wide undrafted guy. He even got playing time over him, bro. Another wide receiver, not even drafted, got playing time. And you couldn't get on the field, and you're what? He was a 4th round draft pick. Holy
and that's what gets me. It's like the guy was good enough to draft in the 4th round, but not good enough to ever see the NFL football field. Nobody can be that bad, bro. Even Ted Ginn wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, look, we were all predicating that this guy was picked. It was Wes Welker's pick. Remember that? Because he had the Texas Tech connections and everything, and Coach Welker, and I worked out with him and everything. This guy supposedly worked out with Mahomes and company, and he couldn't get on the field. Why? I need to know. That's a name. Listen, Easy E, if you're listening, bro. You're a 4th round draft pick, right? And if you're not getting on the field going into year 2 again, right? Maybe NFL is not for you. But let me tell you what you could do to change your minds on this. Work your ass off, bro. Show us something special in the preseason. Play your cards right. Show up. Show out. Balls to the wall, right? Earn your keep. That's what I need you to do. And get on the field, right? Get on the field, and then we can see what you got, right? Make everyone a believer this season. That's what I need you to do. Because in all ultimately, can't even talk, Color. Look at this. I'm all tongue-tied. Ultimately, that could be one of the biggest flubs in drafting that Chris Greer had. Regardless of being a 4th round draft pick. You know what I mean? There were other players right there in the 4th round that were very successful so far in their first year we could have had. That could have helped us. You know what I mean? Why draft a player, in my opinion, why draft a player in the first 4 rounds or even 5 rounds? We'll go with 4. I'm going to stick with 4. Why draft a player in the first 4 rounds and not even use him or get him on the field? Why did he even make
again, I don't understand how a guy can be NFL quality enough to make a team, not get sent to the practice squad, yet not be good enough to ever touch a blade of grass. You know what I mean?
It just doesn't make sense, bro. It doesn't make sense. In addition to it, there was rumblings from like Barry Jackson and other, people that, are the beat writers for the Dolphins, saying that he was learning a different wide receiver position that he hasn't played before. Like he didn't understand part of the tree. If that's
get open, catch the ball. I really, you know what I mean? It's
yeah. I mean, is it that bad? I mean, let's be real. Okay. Let's be real for a moment. Right. We've had some flubs over the season, over the years of drafting. We've had some, some are considered the worst picks ever. The defensive end that we got from Oregon.
Mom says Tua.
Oh man, come on, that's too early for that, Mom. Too early. But who's the guy, the defensive end that we got from Oregon? Do you remember? We traded with the Raiders. We thought we were getting the offensive lineman, and we went defensive end. Do you remember who I'm talking about? Dion something or something like that.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Yeah,
Jordan, maybe.
Yeah, Jordan. Yeah, the guy barely even played. Right, guy barely even played. And he was here like here and gone like that quickly, right? even he got some playing time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Noah, another guy that a lot of people say, what is this guy doing? He's never going to amount to everything. I don't know why we draft him in the first round. They wouldn't even waste a second round pick on him. That's what people say. I know some people are supporting him, and that's great because he definitely needs the support. But at the same time, he's even had playing time. You understand? It doesn't matter how bad you are. If you're on the roster, you need to see some playing time. Then you'll know what is what. What are you doing that's so bad that the team feels that they don't even or can't even get you on the field? Do you understand what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense to me. And Mark K, I know he's failed due to drug issues. I get that. But the fact is that he's a guy that in some ways, well, I guess he was a bad example. You might be right, Mark. Charles Harris, that was a guy we drafted, right? That only played defensive end for like less than a year. Wasn't he a guy that we drafted at some point? I think out of Missouri or something like that. He wasn't even that great, and he got on the field. I mean, you know what I'm saying? These guys.
Ali, think about it, bro. Like when I pointed out, or I can always point out the fact that it was a bad decision, or I didn't understand the decision to have Tanner Connor in on a crucial drive, to be in position to drop a football that stymied that drive and then ended up doing nothing to help us, win that game, basically. You know what I mean? And I've made it a point to harp on it. Why was that? Why was that personnel decision made? Oh, first year head coach, blah blah blah. One of the points that people come back at me with on that is that, well, it's coaching. You got to find out what you got at some point. Sometimes you got to put a player in, see where this and that. And that's you could argue. You could argue it is a good point. But you could argue back that there's a time and place for everything, but because that was a crucial drive. However, if that's the case, what's the problem with Eazy-E? McDaniel couldn't see fit to plug him in any spot, but a tight end in a crucial situation, we can try the rook out there. You know what I mean? So what is up with Eazy-E that he's so bad that Mike McDaniel doesn't see fit to put him on the field even once when he's putting Tanner Connor in a crucial situation to drop a football?
Yeah, I mean, here's another point, Color. Last night on the TFTG show with El Cap, we had the honor of having Brian Catt on the show, right? And him and El Capitan discussed various different positions and player personnel and different topics. And one of the things he said about Eazy-E is that, we could start seeing him being a special teams person. He couldn't even get on the special teams last season to even get even an ounce of playing time. What makes you think that he's going to do it this season? You know what I mean? We have seen so little of him since after that preseason concluded. What's going to tell us?
To me, Ali, it's a matter of you put a person on the field because you think they give you an opportunity to win. That's why we had Braylon Sanders on the field. Yeah. That's why whoever. That's why whatever it is, you feel that person gives you an opportunity to win or a chance to win. If you're not putting somebody on the field, you're saying that person not only doesn't give us a chance to win, but increases our chances of losing.
Wow.
That's the only explanation as to why a guy like that hasn't seen the field.
That's pretty damning, man. That is definitely damning. I agree with that one.
And I'm only basing that on the comparative evidence of you put a rookie tight end in a crucial situation, but a rookie wide receiver hasn't even seen a blade of grass yet.
Yeah, I definitely understand. I'm just very surprised. I'm very surprised. Even if you're let's say you're a bad practicer, we've heard that, being a stigma for some people. Some people just don't practice very well, but in game they play at a different speed. that could be very, a possibility. But the fact that he couldn't even give you just maybe a punt return or a
Well, again,
kickoff
how would
return.
they know, Ali, if they don't put him in the game?
Absolutely. That's kind of what my whole point is, Color. That was where I was going with this. How do they know? They don't. That's like that bad, bro. That's damn.
That means that tells you that they're seeing something that makes them not even want to take the chance and try.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a logical conclusion.
El Cap is saying that Matt Moore was like one of those guys. He practiced shitty, but he played better in games. That's that's definitely true.
But when the time came to play in a game, they didn't say, "Hey, we're not going to put this guy in. Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
No, they put him in. He saw the field. That's how we know he was better in games than in practice.
100%. But anyway, make sure you hit like and subscribe. I see El Cap in here. What's up, man? Adam Sadowski, how's it going? Fins up, y'all. Shout out to everybody that is in the chat. Mark K, the resident Bills fan, is saying that our failed issues here were due to poor drafting and non-scheme fits and player developments. Do you agree with that take?
Well, I mean, it's a good guess, I guess.
Yeah, that might be the issue, but right now we're just talking about surprising cuts and why that player, is even considered to be cut. That's what we're talking about. The rousting of whoever decided to draft the person or draft analysis, or let alone player development. That's a different story. We'll talk about that at a later time. Let's keep it going, Color.
By the way, can we institute a new rule in our fan base now? Since it's like the second time we've been burned. Players are not allowed to get a nickname until they produce on the field. How about that?
There we go. I kind of agree with that. Okay, no nicknames until they show us something. That's what you're saying, Color, right?
Well, it could be. I mean, obviously it ain't so easy for E.
Damn, Color with the burn. Continuing from last night. That's ridiculous. Holy shit. Hit the like button. Color will be here all night. Make sure you tip him. So definitely. Color. So we talked about Eazy-E. And my surprising cut. And this is very surprising for me because he was another player we drafted in the same exact draft, actually. Tyndall is on the cut list for me. And it's not because he couldn't get on the field, because he has gotten on the field a little bit last season, specifically in special teams. But from my understanding, one thing that Vic Fangio likes a lot is smart players. And unfortunately, from what I understand, is Tyndall does not have the grasp of the game. He's not educated enough in the game to be able to make the right read or right instinct and stuff. And I could be wrong. I'm just going based on what I've been told and whatnot. And even Omar Kelly reported that he looked lost or missing from OTAs and stuff. If he goes into training camp this way and he continues that path, that whole draft could be a bust, bro. And he could be cut just like Eazy-E. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, right from the get-go, he hasn't been able to secure the edge, even in preseason, even against preseason squads.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it just hasn't gotten any better. I mean, I think there's something to be said to that, because it looks to me like he's relying solely on his athletic ability to read and react.
Mm-hmm.
In the NFL, that's not fast enough. You're a step behind if you're thinking like that. If you don't have a grasp of what's actually going on and be able to, infer what you can expect. That's what makes defenses, or often, NFL caliber, so much faster, is that these players are so used to seeing things and so used to, and know this stuff so well, i.e. football's 90% mental.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to get that extra step. It's not that they're actually faster, it's that they're already prepared to act in a given situation instead of reacting. So when they see the visual cues, they act, and they're in the right place in the right time, and it seems like, wow, he's so much faster than a college guy in that position. You know what I mean? And so Tyndall, it looked to me, looking at the film from preseason last year, it looked to me like he sees something and then reacts instead of already moving to react as he's seeing what's going on. And because of that, in the NFL, you can't be fast enough to set that edge. And you saw it against Philadelphia when he got burned.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with you. With me, Scotty says in here from day one that he needed 2 years to develop. And if that's the case, then okay, then we should see improvement from last season to this season.
Fair enough.
But I don't think that we should say that he's lost. Then at that point, like the reports have been saying, if that's the case, if he is lost, then we have a bigger issue, and it kind of aligns with what Mark K, stated. Now, here is something.
They have the same last initial, or are they brothers or something?
I don't know. Yeah, Mark.
Michael's gonna call me later on. He's gonna be like, "Bro, you crossed the line, man."
Have we seen Michael K's face before?
Yes, he has done one reveal.
Okay. All right, so that assumption was stumped. I was gonna say they're the same person. Anyway, just kidding.
Michael's gonna be like, "No more coffee for you, Color, when I come to visit."
But here's the thing for me, like what I was saying, like he says that they need day one. He said that he needs 2 years to develop. That could be very well true. The thing with me is that Tyndall, his highlight reel showed us something that we hadn't had here in a while, and that was someone that could seek out the quarterback, someone that could cover that inside linebacker area. He looked like he got involved in the defense a lot more and seemed to be, someone that could really be a force in the middle. Since he got here after that, we haven't seen anything that he showed on the highlight reel, and that made me realize that the highlight reel is what they are. They're good plays, and they make you think. They basically are the charlatan of any sport. They are trying to sell you something to make it look like gold, when in reality, this is only a fraction of the amount of work that they put in and what they've done. You know what I mean? They may have, the highlight reel could be 10 great plays, but all the other plays could be complete shit. To give you an example. So I do kind of agree with what you're saying, Color. Don't give them nicknames till they get on the field and they show us something. I'm seeing that with a lot of these players that we've been drafting as of late. You know what I mean? Now, knock on wood, David Achane isn't that like that, or anybody else we drafted. Cam Smith, for example. But yeah, man, that's kind of concerning to me. But those are the two guys I could see getting cut this season.
What tends to happen with the nicknaming is you get a bunch of people that, or a guy like, Eric, that the second a fan talks about, 2 years in and we haven't even seen him on the field yet, and we're asking questions about him being cut, and then some fan wants to start the whole, sycophancy game and talk about, oh, how dare you? That's Easy E. No, it's not Easy E. Easy E died, by the way, and he was a rapper. You know what I mean? This is Eric Izukanma, and he hasn't been able to show us whether he can catch the dang football or not because he hasn't played. So again, this is like getting attached to players, and it makes it even worse when you start nicknaming them right when they get in the building.
Yeah. So we need to see what he can do this year and get him on the field. You get him on the field, he'll change minds. But as of right now, he's on the bubble for me to be cut because of that, because he couldn't get on the field. What
It's
else
like,
we
what
got
if they
going?
would have nicknamed Tyreek Hill Cheetah, and he comes out slower than a gazelle? You know what I mean?
That's true. That is actually a really good analogy. I like that one, Color, to be honest.
Are we going to be like, hey, don't pay attention to that 4.8 speed? His nickname is Cheetah, don't you know? I mean, that's how they roll, you know? A bad example because Tyreek is actually fast, but I'm just saying, like,
we're just we're playing hypotheticals. What we
right?
do.
What about at year 10 when Tyreek starts slowing down? Are they still going to be calling him Cheetah?
Damn. I had a joke for
Well,
that,
by
but
then
that's not for tonight.
it's
That's for a
ingrained enough.
nighttime show.
Right, I was going to say by then it's ingrained enough that they probably would.
So, Color, those are my two guys. Is there any other surprise cuts that you can think of that could happen? Let's start instead of being a rookie or something like that. Let's go with a veteran. Is there a surprise veteran cut that's going to happen that you think?
It's hard to say about a cut. I can think of a surprise trade, but
okay, I'll take that. What do you got for us?
I really, really think we may, and it all depends on what happens with the Dalvin Cook shoe dropping. Mm-hmm. But I really think we could deal Mostert to the Cowboys. I really do.
Okay. I do agree that Mostert is a target of the Cowboys, but I don't think we want to give up Mostert. I think we have more of an inkling to trade Jeff Wilson, to be honest, for a variety of different reasons. And it's not just it has nothing to do with like scheme fit and stuff like that. It's more of he wants more touches on the ball. And if you have A-Chain and you have Dalvin Cook here, that's going to be even more reduced, than what it is. And I think he would be the one asking to leave. And I don't know if he'll go to Dallas, maybe somewhere else he goes. I do have not a surprise cut or trade, but a surprise team that I could see very well trading with for one of our receivers, by the way, Color. And obviously, this man's already on the trade block, and we're talking about Cedric Wilson. The Detroit Lions will trade for Cedric Wilson. They need to. If you don't know, they have a variety of different suspensions due to gambling that we talked about earlier, and most of it hits the wide receiver room. And Cedric Wilson, I think, would help them out and is perfect. His money is perfect to be able to be traded, and I think that's who's going to go after him because they need that. It's exactly what they need, to be honest. What do you think?
Yeah, I could see that happen. I don't know how much of a surprise it would be, but it's definitely possible.
Because the reason I say surprise, think about it this way: we've been talking about, Dallas wants him back. Dallas has talked about him getting him back, and the Dallas fans want him, or let's send him to Minnesota for Dalvin Cook. Those are the two teams we've talked the most about trading for Eze. Who else have we talked about? No one else has brought up Detroit. So right. The only thing we've talked about Detroit, to be honest, is them making a huge leap and actually taking, winning their division this year. That's what we've been talking about.
They could kind of use a compliment to St. Brown because, really, who do they have beyond Amon-Ra?
They have Amon St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, who definitely in his own right can catch out the backfield. He's going to be a receiving threat.
Well, as far as pure wide receivers, like a number 2 wide receiver, you know what I mean?
They don't have one, and that's why that's why Cedric Wilson is really what they need. In addition to it, they also have Sam Laporta, tight end. So he's there too, but still, ultimately, that is the position of need. And I think
I can see him and Goff hooking up and being a decent tandem, bro.
Yeah, it's a win-win. It's win for Detroit, win for Cedric Wilson. And we might get.
We know that Cedric would definitely be more productive with Jared Goff. That's for sure.
That's true. I asked last night to Brian Catt what would the compensation look like, and somebody said maybe a 5th rounder. I'm okay with that. Let's just take the 5th round and get him off the books, bro. You know what I mean? Get him off the books.
Right.
Open up the cap space. There's a lot. I think you would start there, and then in turn around, and you could start, extending other players in a sense. You could, go ahead and, you can fill another position of need essentially with some of the money that's being saved.
Scotty had a question really quick I wanted to give an answer to. He asked what we could possibly get for Mostert from Dallas. Not really sure. I do know that we could at least recover some of the cost of a Dalvin Cook, which means that this money we're talking about, or that he's asking for, let's say 10 or 11 million bucks, that is such a hard pill for us to swallow, could be cut, 3 or 4 million bucks if we deal Mostert, So now all of a sudden you're talking about getting a pretty good deal for Dalvin because Mostert was going to have the touches taken from him anyway. And Dallas is, according to the reports out of Dallas, they are highly enamored with Mostert in particular as a sufficient backup for Pollard. It's not Jeff Wilson that they're looking at. It's Mostert that they're infatuated with. And they are infatuated with him for the particular role that they envision him having behind Pollard. So, I don't know. This guy, it's hard to say what we could get in that kind of trade, but I'm thinking we could at least recover some of the cost of Dalvin Cook.
I see where you're coming from. For me, I would keep Mostert only because I think he would be a good fit to mentor Devon Achane. You know what I mean? They're very similar, and I think it'd be a good mentor for him. At least get 1 year under his belt. I mean, what do you think in regards to that?
Well, sure. Again, this is only obviously only speculative. And secondly, it's if Dallas wanted to deal and we wanted to deal with them, it's a case where it's kind of spur of the moment. And you're putting aside all the little things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and somebody asked me, someone messaged me the other day because I had said this before, regarding mentoring from Raheem Mostert to Devon Achane. Why can't Dalvin Cook mentor him? Well,
right. That's what I'm saying. And are we on a Super Bowl run, or are we a training program? You know what I mean?
This is true. But here's the reason I bring this up, right? They're a different style of running back. So the benefits or the things that you have to do in their specific specialty at their craft is going to be different from each other. Achane is more similar to Raheem Mostert than he is to a Dalvin Cook. In the style of running back. You know what I mean? So how they run, what they do in their runs, how do they create separation, and how they move is going to be different. The cuts they make is going to be different from each other. And that's why I said there's some mentoring that could happen. Scotty says Wilson deserves to go somewhere where he can play. I do agree with that. Wilson does deserve that. I said Minnesota is still in need of a running back. I've looked at their roster, and I still think they have an option there. Another team to look at is maybe the Browns or even Washington, I think, needs a running back. There's a lot of teams that actually do need running backs. They just don't want to spend the top dollar right now. That's the reality.
Right. And that right there is why Dallas in particular is so enamored with a guy like Mostert. And they know they don't have to tie themselves too long to him because he's getting up there in age. They really want to focus on Pollard, but they really want to back him up, but even he's a little injury prone. So I don't think it's out of the realm. I know insiders want to claim that it was Denver, but it's not out of the possibility that that Dallas is the one that Dalvin turned down, because they wanted to go after Dalvin. And I suspect their backup plan is, well, if Miami lands him, then we're going to make a play for Mostert.
Yeah, Michael K is making the point saying Ali the Persian, that doesn't matter. In fact, if that was the case, teams would have 3 or 4 running back coaches. I disagree with you on that. I disagree. You can have a coach that is familiar with variety of different style of running and everything. Having a like for like player, it helps the person hands on see things in his game that he could improve on. right? Now, I agree having a Dalvin Cook could also mentor him to a point, but there's certain things Dalvin Cook can do that Devon Achane can't, and there's certain things Devon Achane can do that Dalvin Cook can't. Do you understand what
Right.
I'm saying? Based on their body, their abilities, and a lot of different factors. So I don't agree with what you're saying. Go ahead.
And Delusional's got a good question. Why wouldn't Dallas go after playoff Lenny? Lenny, hey, good question. For the same reason the Dolphins don't, because platitudes are created, and everybody thinks this guy's washed up or something. You know, he's only a two-time Super Bowl champion, you know, or one at least. You know, been on teams, 3 different teams that have made a run when he's there. You know, still getting 73 receptions a game in a season. I mean, that's a great question, Delusional, because of platitudes. That's really the answer. You'd think Leonard Fournette would be with somebody right now. But no, you know, we can point out the similarities. We can point out the production. What's that?
Okay, I think it's me or it's StreamYard again.
Oh, it could be me. I'm in that area right by my apartment complex. That's a dead zone.
I got you. If it's not happening for people watching, then it's something with our StreamYard that it doesn't match up sometimes. So
right. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It to me, it's just platitudes. There's a narrative out there that Dalvin Cook is a 10 times better upgrade than Leonard Fournette, and it's just not true. Especially in the pass catching ability.
Yeah, I definitely hear you. I agree. It may have to do with platitudes. It may have been some of the things that they saw last season coming into camp. You know, overweight and whatnot. That was a common thing coming out of Tampa that people were upset about what happened last season. But I do think the guy is formidable, especially in the passing game. He is a guy that we don't have here. It would be nice to see. But we'll see what happens. You know,
but we didn't. Again, none of those platitudes were created about any of the Los Angeles Rams players last year.
You know,
coming off of a Super Bowl. You know, yeah. I'd expect a running back that's been putting in as much effort into the NFL as he has in his career. I'd expect him to get a little fat after a Super Bowl victory.
Oh, I understand. It happens to everybody. You know, you have that. You know, it's called the Super Bowl hangover. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, especially a guy like him that's so underrated, unsung, been on 3 teams to get to the dance and gets a ring. I think it's time to take a break. I'd feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, Color? I mean, there's still time left. We haven't even hit training camp yet. Who knows? What if we were to get Dalvin Cook, trade away Mostert, as you're stating, and then we're like, you know, we definitely do need maybe a Leonard Fournette here. We'll bring him in and then trade Wilson away. Maybe that's maybe a thing that happens. You know what I mean? And then you got A-Chain, Leonard Fournette, and Dalvin Cook. That would be a godlike running back room in a sense, you know, based on names. We're talking about name-wise. You know what I mean? So, you know, remember we had Ronnie and Ricky here? You know what I'm saying? Did we need another running back then when we had Ronnie already? You know what I mean?
Right. And I want to remind everybody too, and it's going to sound like I'm arguing against myself here, because I'm not one of these people that's like, get Dalvin Cook no matter what. You know what I mean? I don't think a lot of people realize that Fournette's last contract with the Buccaneers was for three years for $21 million. That's $7 million a year for playoff Lenny. And we're talking about $8 million being too much for Dalvin, or $10 million being too much for Dalvin. Well, why isn't anybody upping that $7 million for Fournette now that he's cashed in a Super Bowl ring? Doesn't his value increase? He's still under 30 years old. Why aren't we talking about giving him $10 million? But we're talking about saving money going after Lenny. Oh, we might be able to get him for 2 to 4. Well, he just made 7.
Yeah,
Now,
it
I know
comes
he
to-
didn't make 7 last year because they front loaded it and all that, like they do. But the contract was 3 years, $21 million.
Mhm.
And now we're talking about a chance to get a guy like Lenny for 4. And that's not a way more cost efficient move. You know, I'm just saying, I don't think a lot of people have realized what his last contract was with the Bucks as relates to what people think is too much money to spend on Dalvin Cook.
That's a good point. That is
Inflation, people. I mean, Daniel Jones just got $45 million. And if Leonard Fournette just got assigned $7 million for last year, why is $8 million ridiculous for Dalvin Cook?
That's true. That is true. Color, let's keep it moving. We're limited on time. I cannot extend today unless you're extending. But I want to get into this, continue this series of the best games of the 2000s. I want to talk about it. I want to use the last 20 minutes.
And you've got a couple to list off, right? So you don't need me for a second, right?
No, but if you want to comment on them, you can. Is basically what.
Well, I'm just gonna go in this store real quick and grab some food, and by the time I have a comment, I'll be done by the time I have a comment.
Okay. All right, no worries. Just let me know, and
Yeah, I just didn't want to bother everybody in the store. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna drop out a second.
Definitely. Okay. All right, Color, no problem. You do what you gotta do, and I'm gonna continue this. It is currently 7:37 a.m. I don't mean to rush everybody, but I just want to make sure we get this content out. Current weather report in Miami. It's 82 degrees, high of 88, low of 78. It looks like there's some weather bands that are brewing out around South Florida. Currently, it feels like it's 89 degrees outside. 78% humidity, 57% chance of thunderstorms and showers this afternoon. Currently 8% chance of rain. So they're saying sometime around 1 p.m. ish, 1:45 p.m. you're going to see scattered thunderstorms and showers. Even looks like Port St. Lucie might get a little bit today as well. But right now it's sunny skies in Florida and Miami specifically, so rock and roll that. Be safe on the road. Color gave his traffic report for the West Palm area. I told you there were some accidents being reported around Miami. Please be safe. This is going into the holiday weekend. We want to have fun. I know it's not a true holiday weekend because the holiday is on Tuesday, but some people have Monday off. Let's just take it easy. Make sure you buckle up. Go to the beach. Have fun with the kids. Put on some burgers and hot dogs and stuff on the grill, or shrimp, whatever you're into, and just enjoy time, bro. Just do the right thing. That's all I'm asking, Anyway, let's keep it moving. So this next thing I want to talk about, Alan Popar has a series that he's been putting out, the 75 best Dolphin games of the 2000s. Last time we talked about this, me, Color, and El Capitan, we talked about number 75 to 71. This is number 66 to 70. So the 2022 season was memorable. One of the Miami Dolphins, not only because it produced the franchise first playoff appearance in 6 years, but it did it with style. That's right, style. The proof comes in our ranking of the top 75 Dolphin games of the 2000s, which featured more from 2022 than other seasons. So you're going to see more 2022 games listed in this than other seasons. But it ended up with 7 games, just so you know, from the last season in their countdown. 2 more than 2022, 2013, 14, or 16, just so you know. Again, he goes on to explain that this is all subjective and every Dolphin fan might have a different view of each game. But for them, it was more about the entertainment value of the game combined with the significance of it, with bonus points awarded for anything unusual that happened in that game. And he goes on to explain maybe a ridiculous 3 lateral finish, or or a team being called back from the locker room 30 minutes after the game supposedly ended. Things like that. They got bonus points. So let's go on with number 70 through 66. And color, whenever you're ready, go ahead and comment and chime in. So, number 70, the 2022 playoffs at Buffalo. That's where he ranks this. Bills 34, Dolphins 31. The installment will feature a lot of losses included. They were in good, entertaining games, even though they didn't end up win the Dolphins' way or winning the game. Basically, is what he's saying. The first is the most recent Dolphin game, which was very frustrating in a sense because Miami easily could have won the game despite starting a rookie 7th-round pick, Skylar Thompson, at quarterback. While the game was no work of art, it was very entertaining and competitive to the end, mostly because the Dolphins defense forced 3 turnovers, including Zach Seiler's fumble return for a touchdown. Ain't that the truth? We've been preaching that since that game, ever since. That was a hell of a game. The defense showed what it could do, bro. And to be honest, I think there's even more ceiling to that. 3 turnovers in a game, bro. Right? A forced fumble and touchdown by Zach Seiler, putting his name on the map. That's what I'm talking about. Skylar Thompson, yeah, it didn't look pretty. But he held it as best as he could. Now, was there room for more growth or more yards that could be had that could have won us the game? Definitely. That's a game that there's people, including myself, that argue that had it not been for 3 drops, 3 perfectly passed drops, could have changed the outcome. It could have gotten us at least a field goal to tie the game up. You know what I mean? We could have tied it, went into overtime. And overtime doesn't always sit well with Buffalo Bills. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. We could have gotten the ball back one last time at the end of the game, to really make a drive out of something. There's so many ifs, what, then, whatever, possibility, maybes that could have happened, in that game. But it was a hell of a game. We were down, 17-0, I want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. We were down 17-0, and we came back and we were leading, 24 to 20, I think it was at one point, or something like that. It was like 24 to 21, something, right? It was ridiculous. I was like, wow, we might actually pull this off. It kept me on the edge of the seat all the way to the end of the game. That was a hell of a game. Hats off to both teams. But yeah. And Color's coming back in the chat. You'll be here in a moment. Color, you there? Color.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we just named off number 70, just so you know.
Any of them the Miami Miracle?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
Number 70
That's what everybody's waiting for.
Oh, we lost Color. You back? Color?
Yep, I'm back.
All right. So no, not the Miami Miracle.
I was saying that's what everybody's waiting for.
Yeah, I know. But this game actually was a hell of a game. It was a Miami Dolphins loss, but it was a hell of a game. It was the 2022 playoffs at Buffalo. Bills 34, Dolphins 31. That was a hell of a game, bro. We had 3 turnovers, right, that the defense created, including Zach Seiler's fumble return for a touchdown, right? Had it not been for at least 3 passes that were perfectly thrown, that if they had not been dropped, this game could have had a little bit of a different outcome. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah. I'm mainly thinking of that catch by, what's their young wide receiver, Sharik? Or Shakir?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Right on the fingertips, stretched, jumped in the air and stretched as far as he could to make that catch. Yeah, I remember that one for a crucial first down. Sure.
Yeah, I understand. All I'm saying is that even if
looked a lot better than Gabe Davis, just saying, Buffalo fans,
Oh, shit, throwing shade at Buffalo. Listen, had Jalen Waddle caught the passes that were perfectly thrown, in my opinion. And to be honest, there was, my really good friend, my best friend, Jason, He has an issue with Waddle because in crucial catches, there are times where it looks like Jalen Waddle jumps for the ball when he doesn't really need to. Had he just kept running, it would have came right to him.
Sure. And a lot of that
You know?
has to do with locating the ball and when you locate it and how you
Mhm.
locate it and,
Mhm.
how you view it coming in. And sometimes, yeah, I mean, it seems like he's expecting something that is, not to be expected. And again, that speaks to eyes coming off the ball because,
Yeah.
it's almost like guessing. I might have to. I'm probably going to have to jump here. Well, there's no probably if your eyes are on the ball and you know where it's at.
Yeah, if you have not perfect vision, I shouldn't say that, but good vision of the football, then I think you should know where it's going to go. But here's the thing, I'm not trying to say that we would have ultimately won the game, but it could have set up a field goal that would have kept us in a tie at least towards the end of the game. Do you understand?
Certainly,
what I'm saying?
it definitely, we're talking about a seriously different discussion if even one of those balls was caught.
Yeah, 100%, definitely. Let's keep it going, color. So number 69, 2004 at San Francisco, Dolphins 24, 49ers 17. The 2004 season was the second worst of the 2000s for the Dolphins, ahead only of the 1 in 15 disaster of 2007. But props must be given for interim head coach Jim Bates for having his team play hard to the end, despite taking over a team that was 1 in 8 after a loss at Seattle in his interim debut. Bates got his first victory when Jason Taylor led a strong defensive effort with 3 sacks, the last of which forced a fumble that Derek Pope recovered for a touchdown. That was a good game. I remember that one, actually.
Derek who?
Derek Pope. Yeah, it's been that long, colors. I know who Derek Pope is. The reason I remember it is because it was one of, I want to say it was, let's see, 2004. Was that when that wasn't when Jason Taylor left and came back, was it? Or was that before he left the first time?
I think it was before he left.
Yeah, I think it was right before he left. That was a good game. I remember. I actually miss watching Jason Taylor play. He was one of the best defensive players we've had in a long time. So, any other thoughts on that game before we move on to the next one?
Nope.
All right. So number 68, 2012 at Arizona, Cardinals 24, Dolphins 21, loss in overtime. After failing to pass for more than 219 yards in his first 3 NFL games, rookie first-round pick Ryan Tannehill had his first big outing thanks to a large part to Brian Hartline. The wide receiver set a franchise record with 253 yards on a day when Tannehill passed for 431 yards, and the two hooked up for an 80-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter to give Miami a 21-14 lead. But Miami allowed Arizona to come back after Tannehill fumbled while being sacked, and Kevin Kolb, I apologize if I don't say that correctly, threw a 15-yard touchdown pass to Andre Roberts on 4th and 10 in the winning seconds. Arizona won on the field goal in overtime after Kerry Rhodes intercepted Tannehill on a pass intended for Hartline. I remember this game. It was a hell of a game. It was Brian Hartline was like a machine out there. And it was a hell of a game for Tannehill, throwing for over 431 yards. But turnovers really killed us in that game, color. It was one of the worst games when it came to turnovers, especially when you were leading in this game. What do you think? Anything?
I just think it's pretty striking that the first breakout out-of-body experience game that Tannehill had was against the same team that Tua had.
That's absolutely true. Ain't that a coincidence?
Like, that's one of the games that people point to as an example of Tua balling out, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like the first one, like Arizona. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that is kind of funny. This next game at number 67 was also heartbreaking color. 2014 at Denver, Broncos 39, Dolphins 36. You'll have to forgive me, but I'm a sucker for a good old-fashioned shootout, and this is what this game was. The frustrating part in that while Peyton Manning did have 4 touchdown passes on a day, it was the inability to stop CJ Anderson on the ground that doomed the Dolphins and ultimately spelled defeat after they had an 11-point lead 3 different times. Yeah, 11-point lead 3 different times. The big play of the game came on the final snap of the third quarter with the Dolphins leading 28-17 and Denver facing a 4th and 2 from the Miami 41. And Anderson not only got the first down, but gained 20 yards. Ryan Tannehill had a good outing for the Dolphins, but the interception after Denver took a 32-28 lead pretty much led to seal the outcome. It's kind of the ongoing theme I found with Ryan Tannehill is interceptions, bro. It seems like he loses the game with an interception every loss I even read about. Oh, he intercepted the ball that led to the loss. He intercepted the ball on the last play in overtime. You know, that's what it seems like. Interceptions. What do you think on that?
Or a sack.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see that. But I mean, interceptions tend to hurt the
to me,
game.
it's like he's the kind of guy that will take a sack with 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter on his own side of the field on 4th and 17. He'd take a sack.
I guess you're kind of right on that. I mean, for me, I don't know. Mike, I guess the question is, which poison would I rather have? Lose a game on a sack or an interception? What do you think, Color?
Interception.
Maybe you're right. I don't know.
I have no patience for somebody treating a 4th and 17 with a minute left. I have no patience for somebody treating that like it's a regular 4th and 17 and we're just going to run a draw play or throw the ball away when nothing's happening. No, you put the ball up because it's 4th and 17 with a minute left in the game. And if and you put the ball up there and it comes down intercepted, I can handle that. I can't handle taking a sack 15 yards deep in your backfield on 4th and 17 with I have no patience for that, man.
Yeah,
well, it was the right thing to do. Well, okay. You know, it reminds me of it's like a general manager in baseball calling the playoff game like a regular season game, making personnel decisions like it's still a regular season game. That's Tannehill going, oh, well, I'm supposed to throw the ball away there. No, not with a minute left. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. We saw that so many times, man, where it's down to our last drive, last couple seconds, last play, and he's throwing the ball away or taking a sack. You know, it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I definitely hear you. The next game, number 66, Color, which is, in my opinion, is a memorable game. But the reason I'm bringing it up is this game, and you'll see when I talk about it, it's something that I think Tua can shine in. We've seen some of the best from Tua in moments like this, and we talked about the other episode on what was it, Wednesday? We talked about the Germany, Kansas City in Germany and versus Kansas City this season that sold out in 15 minutes. Over 1.5 million people was in a queue trying to get tickets from all over the world. Right. I think in games like that, when you have a prime time audience, even though it's not being played at night here, unfortunately, it'd probably be during the daytime that we watch the game. I think he shines in moments like that. When all eyes are watching, he tends to play a little bit better than what he normally does.
You talking to it?
Yeah, I'm talking to it. Now, here's the thing. He doesn't always win the game, but he shows kind of shows in moments or flashes what his ceiling could be or what he can do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Give you an example. First half of the Christmas Day game versus Green Bay. Tua looked amazing in the first half. Second half, he wasn't there. You know what I mean? Buffalo game. Actually, speaking of Buffalo game, let's go ahead and talk about it. Number 66, 2022 at Buffalo. Bills 32, Dolphins 29. Alan says, yes, we have both Buffalo losses here from last year on the countdown, and maybe later on the win against the Bills, simply because there were two good games. And the truth be told, while the stakes weren't as high, the Saturday night matchup at Highmark Stadium featured better quality football. The Dolphins got a 67-yard run by Raheem Mostert. You can't discount him for that. That was a hell of a run. I remember that run. And a 67-yard touchdown pass from Tua to Jalen Waddle, and led 29-21 before Josh Allen took over the game, including converting three third down situations on the game-winning drive when the Bills got out of a 2nd and 18 predicament.
Right.
So it didn't come out. We didn't actually end up winning the game, but it was a hell of a game. He showed great quality. You know what I mean? And that was one of those prime time
And
moments.
I think we can all agree that the game was lost by coaching decisions when the snow started falling.
Yeah, you're absolutely agree. I agree with that. That can be argued, definitely. And here's the thing.
And to his credit, I'm sorry, Ali, to his credit, Tua actually completed one of those passes in the snow at somebody's shoestrings, but he got the ball out there and got it completed. When I saw the play, I thought, oh God, Pete's going to be all over this one. But the pass was completed, and can you blame him? What are you even calling a pass for there? You know what I mean? Tua just did all he could and got the job done there. You know what I mean? It's like, can't blame him for not being able to throw into the snow. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know, what are you even calling that play for? You know?
Yeah, I definitely hear you. And, I think he actually worked on some, the throwing in the snow and everything with his brother, actually, in Maryland.
Well, what I mean is even a strong-armed quarterback, look, this is not trying to throw shade. Like, it's hard. Sometimes the snow can kind of deaden the ball. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, you can have a strong arm and you can throw in the snow all day long, but there might be that one pass that just the ball's a little wetter, the wind gusts at the right time, the snowflakes are a little heavy, whatever it is, and the ball just goes flat. It doesn't matter who's throwing it sometimes. The point being there is we had them. We were owning them in the trenches. There should have been no reason we couldn't continue to run the ball there and pick up a first down and keep possession of the ball. Now, if that happens and we don't end up doing that and we end up losing possession of the ball, you can hang your hat on the fact that you at least called the right strategy. You at least did what you were supposed to do, and you just got physically beat. Okay, fine. I can handle that. That can be fixed in the offseason by getting guys that can't be physically beat. You know what I mean? But when you're talking about, you're not helping. When Mike McDaniel preaches, I'm going to put players in the best position to be the best version of themselves, you're not doing that by calling a pass play with Tua in the snow. You're just not doing that.
Yeah, I definitely.
That's not to insult Tua for having a hard time throwing in those conditions. That's not to insult him. That's to say McDaniel is going against his own principle there by calling a pass play, by not helping his quarterback be the best version of himself.
Yeah, definitely. My point and why this is significant is the fact that I feel that in times Tua can play to, a higher ceiling. And this is one of those games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I think that's what the fans refer to as Alabama Tua. And what I'm really after is I don't want Alabama Tua. I want NFL Tua.
Yeah.
If part of Tua is Alabama Tua, I want that to be in the NFL. I want it to be at an NFL level. I don't want Alabama Tua. I want Alabama Tua in the NFL. I want NFL Alabama Tua.
Definitely. And that's where I'm at with the colors. So I honestly think that game is going to be Kansas City versus Miami this coming up season is going to be game of the year. You sold out the stadium. All eyes are going to be on it. And just like the Buffalo Bills game, even Alan, I think, said it in the article, it wasn't even the risk. The stakes of the game weren't even that big at that point. It didn't matter if we lost that game. We could have still went on to make the playoffs. this is positioned just the same way. Week 7, I think it is, we're playing Kansas City. It's not even that big of a deal if we win or lose it, but I will say it will be the biggest test for Miami because basically everybody is betting on that what team has the biggest chance to maybe dethrone Kansas City? The Miami Dolphins, people.
Well, and again, Ali, that's precisely what puts the pressure on them and not us, because if we lose to the Chiefs in Germany, how's that different than any other day?
Yeah, it doesn't really change anything.
I think it matters more if we win there. If we get that win, it's something to be talked about more than losing there.
Yeah, 100% Color. I'm right there with you because that is a hell of a of something, whatever you want to call it, victory. It would be, in my opinion, if the Miami Dolphins come there and let's just say, knock on wood, this happens, but let's say we steamrolled Kansas City, I don't see how you don't make that like an ESPN classic almost to play. You know what I mean? An NFL classic or something.
Exactly.
Something to that effect. That would be awesome to me. But I do expect this level of quality of football. I do expect it to be close. I don't know. I'm not going to say that we're going to definitely steamroll Kansas City and win. I will say that we do have a chance, a really big chance to actually win that game. And I think it's going to be really close. What do you think, Colin?
Right. I do. And now, don't get me wrong. I don't think the likes of Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce or them guys are going to feel any extra pressure because, they have to beat Miami in Germany. That's not what I meant to say. But the other average players, those are the ones that are going to have more pressure to get the job done, to be a Kansas City Chief. You know what I mean? And so, that it gets notched up a little bit because for the Dolphin players, the expectation is really low as far as, hey, we're going to give our all, we're going to give our best, but they're such a good team that it's not going to kill it. Like, we're not going to be going, what universe are we living in if we lose?
Yeah.
But everybody's going to be asking what universe we've moved into if we win.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine what the narrative will be. I'm wondering what the Buffalo Bills fans are going to start saying that are around here.
Right. Well, this is what I try to tell the Buffalo Bills fans all about pressure and how, I have explained this to Mark in the past where it's like, look, you guys are expected to beat us and roll us. Who's got the pressure on a primetime game going into Buffalo when we literally on Monday morning, if we lose this game, Monday morning is no different than any other Monday morning.
Yeah.
But for Buffalo to lose that game on Monday morning.
Currently 8:03 a.m. My time is up. Any final thoughts?
That would be it.
All right.
Pretty much leave you with that thought for the day, man.
Definitely. Thank you, Color. I'm going to throw you in the back real quick. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, today was a great show. I appreciate all the discussion, all the comments. I started the show with a monologue about unity, and I'm going to end the show with unity. Let's come together, man. Let's bury the hatchet. Let's come together as a fan base. Let's support our team together. We have the same goals. You and I, yes. Everybody here. Even the Buffalo Bills fans surprisingly have the same goal. They want their team to win a Super Bowl. We just want it more. That's the reality of it. So let's bygones be bygones. Let's move forward. Let's move together. And let's take that on to the next episode of the Top of the Tailgate. Pins up, everybody. I'm out.